2 weeks, 2 daily races, Grand Valley last week and Catalunya happening this week, getting back there right after the final round of the Manufacturers' Cup, as you can see in the previous episode of the Mission Gran Turismo, card on the top and link in the description. Good results and a step forward towards getting our driver rating up. Just a little more and we get the DRB. Let's see how it all happened. Weapons clear. Salute and welcome to the Fighter Driver channel. Let's race 2 dailies today, both of them in Group 3 or GT3 cars, as they are my focus for now. The first one in Grand Valley last week, 9 laps with medium tires, no need to refuel, and maybe the tires last until the end, but a stop is mandatory anyways. I'm Gabriel Oliveira, the Fighter Driver, and we will have this race start in a few seconds. I'll start from P6 and try to finish in the top 5, keeping the record as I finished all the competitive races I raced so far in the top 5, except by the third round of the Manufacturers' Cup, which I had to abandon for a stupid mistake. I must remind you that I only raced the dailies once, taking them very seriously and always looking for the best results possible. So the race starts and we keep behind the GR Super, which will brake too strong and will force me to take the outside line to avoid a collision as we go around turn 2. So the GTR driver takes the shot and gets inside. But as we exit the turn, there is contact and I'll not only lose the position but also have damage on my front right suspension, which will bring me some problems. There's contact with the McLaren driver too, but it was minor and didn't result in problems for either of us. Then they back off, and we survive the first corners, but I lose some momentum with the damage. For ball ahead as we go around the hairpin, it seems the GTR also had some damage because of the contact. Well, I wasn't close enough to take advantage of the confusion, so for now I'll just try to keep as close as possible to them, and I'm thinking if it's a good idea to stop right now and get the track out of traffic for some laps, driving as fast as I can and maybe get an undertake over some drivers off the grid. Driver had to pay a penalty and I try to take the opportunity, but they close the inside line and the attempt fails as I come back to the outside line and lose some momentum. In that moment I decided that I'm gonna have my stop right now and won't change tires, so I don't lose any more time than the necessary for the mandatory stop, and that will maybe prove to be the wrong strategy later on. Let's see. For the stop. I know I'll suffer during the final laps of this race as the Mustang burns its tires away, especially when driving like I do in the joypad, and because of it without progressive braking and throttle. I know the L2 and R2 buttons provide a progressive action and it could help me a lot, but I just can't adapt to using those buttons for it. You see, I'm a Gran Turismo dinosaur. I started playing it in 1997 with the first version. I was 15 years old by then. Yeah folks, I am that old. That's one of the reasons why I don't adapt to it and also why I must get a wheel ASAP. And actually you can help me with it. If you enjoy the content, click on the like button, share this content with your friends and bring them to subscribe to the channel. You help me a lot by doing so, and as the channel grows we can make money and invest in making better quality content for y'all. By the way, I've been thinking about making a race with y'all followers. If you like the idea, leave a comment telling me that so we can organize it. End of lap 3, you see I got some positions back as other drivers had their mandatory stops as well, but I had to pay a penalty which cost me some precious seconds back there. Now we get another position back as the BRZ driver also stops, and then we start lap 4 in P9. There's a yellow flag ahead, but the drivers involved are too far for me to take any advantage of it. Later on during lap 4, I can see the drivers up the grid ahead. They are in visual distance, so I just keep head down and pushing on. 5, the Porsche driver is leaving the pits and another third ball will happen right in front of me as we get to turn 1. As the Porsche driver gets to the outside line while much slower than me, I have no other option but taking the inside line to avoid crashing against them. The Genesis driver is spinning in the outside line and we manage to survive it, getting one position off the grid. The Porsche gets a better line as we go out turn 2 and manages to keep the 7th position. We keep on the chase. As we go over the bridge later on in lap 5, the American driver in the GTR has to pay a penalty and we get one more position up the grid, so we're in P7 now, but the Porsche driver, maybe with fresh new tires or not, is getting away from me and I start feeling my tires wear. The leaders are getting in for their stops, but they're too far and it won't influence the race for us now. But then I could chicane too much and get another 0.5 second penalty, and it won't be the last penalty of this race for me. Can I keep the invincibility and finish this one more race in the top 5? Let's see. Something happens ahead as we go around turn 1. The GTR driver in P5 is against the wall, so we'll get one more position up the grid. We're P6 now, so there's still a chance to get into top 5. Head down, pushing on. We'll pay our penalty now. The drivers behind aren't a threat to me, but the Porsche driver was yet in visual distance and may be reachable, but now they'll open the gap and make it harder to be closed again. Moving forward to the end of lap 6, the McLaren driver is in pits for their stop, and we'll get another position up now to P5. It's gonna be hard to get closer to the pilots off the grid, and the tire wear is more and more present. The Porsche driver isn't too far, but keeps opening the gap little by little. As long as I don't make any stupid mistakes, I ensure the top 5. End of lap 7, and as I told you, I'll cut the chicane too much again and get another 0.5 second penalty. The McLaren isn't too close, but not too far, and my tire wear is making my life harder. Later on in lap 8, I pay the penalty and keep ahead of the McLaren. My front left tire is almost completely wasted, and this final lap is gonna be hard, folks. My fight now is for keeping the car on track, driving carefully, but trying not to be too slow as well. I must keep ahead of the McLaren and end this race in the top 5. Come with me, let's see how the final lap develops. Gets dangerously close by the end of the lap, but I managed to keep ahead until we get to the final sector of the track, which is very fast And here the Mustang's engine, the Coyote V8, will make the difference, and the raw power will help me keeping ahead and ensuring the end of this race in the top 5. So we complete 12 races with 6 victories and all the others in the top 5, including the ones we raced in the Manufacturers Cup. Bravo Zulu, but keep coming with us for there's more. Now, if it's your first time here on the Fighter Driver channel and you found this content interesting and useful, you can subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications bell button so you can follow us and be notified every time there's a new video or content here in the channel. You can also hit the like button, leave us a comment telling us what you think about our job here, and finally share this content with your friends if you think they'll like it. Fast and easy, you accomplish this mission and help us a lot by doing so. We appreciate all your support. Now let's get to Daily Race B that's happening right now during this week for laps in the Catalunya circuit. Back there again after a few weeks as the final round of the Manufacturers Cup happening there. Holyfield Digital could be a bit more creative for the daily races. They are repeating a lot. Now, if you haven't watched the previous episodes of our mission Gran Turismo, I'll recommend you to watch the full playlist so you can follow our entire journey from the beginning after watching this race. And if Air Combat Sim is your thing, you can also watch the Mission War Thunder playlist, cards here on the top right corner and the links in this video's description. We managed to get the pole position for this race, followed by the Argentinian driver who was 3/10 slower and can show a threat to us during the race. Remember, my driving rating now is C and I'm trying to get it to B. It's about half the way now, so let's see if we can get a little closer to the RB by getting a good result. The Coyote V8 helps me keeping ahead during the race start, and the Argentinian driver must defend the second position before getting into turn 1. But from now on, they'll come around the circuit very fast and threaten me. I suffer to get the turns faster, again because of my throttle and brakes input that's 100% all the time, so no trail braking or progressive braking and throttle for me. The Argentinian driver is also driving well, but in some moments I have the impression that they're overdriving a bit and that concerns me. I'll get late into turn 8 and the BRZ driver will get very close, bringing some pressure over me. I double the attention from now on in case they get to attack range. Okay, I survived lap 1 and the Coyote V8 will help me keeping the distance on the straight. I also take the inside line, but the Argentinian driver comes after, trying to keep in the slipstream. My problem comes when making turns. They're much faster than me there and will have action to attack. We go around turns 1 and 2, they try the attack as we go around turn 3, and I keep the inside line, but I don't want to risk an overshoot and seek the outside line before going around turn 4. So there they find the opportunity and manage to take the lead. I see something like a bit overdrive there and the race ain't over yet. We have a good distance in relation to the Brazilian driver in the GTR at P3. I'm not worried about it now. I'll just focus not to let the BRZ driver open a too big gap to us. Bit of a furball for the drivers coming behind us as they come for the hairpin, but it doesn't affect me or the Brazilian driver in P3. We keep on the chase against the BRZ driver and keeping an eye on the rear mirrors in case the GTR driver starts getting closer. I overshoot the turn 1 entry a bit, but we're still in this fight. The BRC driver also overshoots turns 3 exit and gets dirt, losing control of the car and almost hits the GTR driver coming after me. I feel sorry for them as they were driving really fast and deserved the victory here. Actually, I'm racing against DRB drivers in this lobby, so in theory they are better pilots, at least in rank. It makes sense they are faster than me. I was feeling they were a bit in the overdrive. Well, I get lucky anyways, so I must not make any stupid mistake and keep the distance from the GTR driver, so I can bring the 7th victory home. Head down escape mode. Final lap, I managed to keep ahead of the GTR driver, and the distances are visual. They're not imposing an immediate threat, so I must just keep the distance to ensure the first place on the podium here. Now, the Brazilian driver in P2 is also driving well and fast, so it's a shame they will have some problems and lose the position as they go around the hairpin. I say it's a shame because I don't know if something happened before and it's a retaliation move, but anyways, even if there was, I don't think it's the best way, and also don't like to give this kind of behavior much evidence. That's one of the reasons why I don't show the drivers' IDs on screen during the races. I just try to keep myself out of trouble and let everyone with their decisions. Oh no, a penalty right now. Can we keep the P1? Yeah, we can. We can keep it and bring the 7th victory, and also come way closer to going up DRB, as you can see here. And that's it for today, guys. I hope you liked it, and if you did so, hit the like button, leave a comment, and share this video with your friends who like Gran Turismo 7 and Simracing. Also consider subscribing to the channel with the notifications bell activated, so you'll receive the notifications every time there's a new video here on the channel. I appreciate you who followed me so far. Salute, and I see you on the next mission.